provides for the community a sense of trust, a sense of security, a sense of reassurance, knowing that that's one thing they don't have to worry about, whether somebody's going to be there when they need them.
For years, the people of Manheim have been able to count on their ambulance service being there when they needed it. Northwest Emergency Medical Services last year responded to over 1,700 calls for help in the greater Manheim community. But working out of this 110-year-old historic firehouse on East High Street has become increasingly challenging.
We're right along High Street. It's a very busy street, just a block off the square. The ability for our crews to leave on calls is often hampered by the fact that cars are stacked up in front of the garage. They're not able to get out on the call. Even more difficult is getting back in the station because we need to back in. It's very dangerous for us to have someone step out of the truck to stop traffic. There's only one person. Which side of the truck do they get on to stop that traffic? This current building is large enough for 2 trucks, but the 2 trucks are very close together. Oftentimes the crews cannot open the side doors to get the equipment in or out if they want to restock supplies. And when it's in, there's about 10 inches between the truck and the wall. So that truck can never be restocked from inside the station.
This building is also out of date for living quarters. We are 24/7 paid staff. We also have volunteers that come here. So when you have more than just one crew here and you actually have a volunteer crew here as well, the living quarters is such a cramped, small, area.
Ambulance service in the Manheim community has a long history, starting in 1948, originally as a transport operation under the name Manheim Veterans Memorial Ambulance Association.
At that time, the ambulance service was mostly transportation. Later, we got into first aid.
In those days, the ambulance had to arrange to meet a doctor at the location where medical services were needed. And what the staff could do was very limited.
We weren't paramedics, and like I say, our only problem was keeping the air open and
Stop the bleeding.
Stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Through the years, the level of medical care expected by the public has risen. And now when an ambulance is dispatched, it's staffed around the clock by a trained paramedic, able to provide advanced life support and basic life support from the Manheim station.
We're pretty advanced to
Yes.
what you're used to, even compared to what the doctors probably carried back then.
Yeah. That goes a lot more than transportation.
Yes, we're not ambulance drivers anymore.
Yeah.
We're paramedics and EMTs.
Just as the level of emergency medical services provided by Manheim EMS has improved over the years, it's now time to improve the facility from which it operates. The 110-year-old building is simply no longer practical. So plans are now in place to build a new facility on this property owned by the Manheim EMS on West Colebrook Street.
Well, a new station will give us 4 bays. We will have a place for us to keep 2 ambulances and a wheelchair van. We'll have 4 bays. We could put a 3rd ambulance in there, even a 4th ambulance. It just opens the opportunity for us to be able to meet the needs of this community for decades to come.
Walk into the old building and, it's cramped. It's sort of like my garage. I got some old mattresses next to my car. Hard to get out of the door. It's the same way. These people have to move fast and put equipment in there, and they can't do it.
When 911 is called, everybody that calls 911 expects the higher level of care to be given. When Manheim Ambulance merged with Northwest EMS, they provided a basic life support and also advanced life support. So when we get on scene, we can determine the level of care what a patient needs to have.
The new building will have space for 4 ambulances, a training room, crew bunk rooms, and administrative offices, and will be handicapped accessible, unlike the current facility with its long staircase, which is required to access the 2nd floor community room.
Manheim's a small town, and to raise $900,000 is a daunting prospect, but this small community has done so many things in the past that have amazed me.
It will take the ambulance service into this modern 21st century, and it will also honor those folks who went before us, who started this ambulance association, and it will allow us to move forward, building a new building, honoring them, and also honoring our heritage.
Some of the most passionate supporters of this project are those people who have discovered Manheim EMS was there for them in a time of crisis. People like Amy Simmons, when her infant son suffered a fall.
And it was nice that someone could come and take care of him when I didn't know what to do.
Or Amy and Doran Artman, whose son suddenly developed seizures when he was 10 years old and nearly died.
You never think you need to call 911, but when that time happens and you're in such a panic mode because of the situation that you're in at the time, that we were so relieved that when the ambulance got there so fast, but not only were we happy to have them there, but to see people that we knew from the church, people that we've known, have conversations, and are just a friendly face, a face that we knew. It was just so much more of a relief to have somebody there that that knew, that cared for us in the situation that we were in.
We don't plan, we don't think it's us. We know in the back of our minds that, something could happen, but we don't live our lives thinking about that. But when it does, you are just, there's no money, there's nothing in the world that can even come close to being how thankful and grateful we are that they were there.
Their son and his wife now have a son of their own.
Without the ambulance there that day, helping us out, we may not have our grandchild that we have today, so we were very fortunate and blessed for that.
Or Dr. Lewis Jury, who suffered a stroke.
And I worried about a lot of things while I was having that stroke. But one of the things I didn't worry about was whether that ambulance would show up quickly, promptly, and take good care of me. I think from a personal standpoint, I can express that it's something that puts your mind at ease. And so it's extremely important to me. Saved my life.
Like hundreds of others in the Manheim community, Dr. Jury knows firsthand that when emergency medical services are needed, Northwest EMS was there for him. Northwest EMS depends on donations to meet its operating expenses and is now counting on the Manheim community to rally around this project and ensure that the present and future needs of this valuable life-saving service are met.
Manheim is a community, a safe community, who we take care of each other, we reach out to each other. We're a very tight-knit community. The things that have to be, the folks of Manheim will see that it gets done.
They use a term called Manheim magic, and I believe we're going to have some Manheim magic when it comes to this project. It's going to be difficult, but I think we'll pull together. Just like a good football team, when you got a goal and you're trying to reach that goal and you have a good game plan, which I think we do. I think this will come together and we'll pull this off. In fact, I'm looking across there at the potential site. I can't wait for the groundbreaking ceremony. That's how confident I am that we'll do it.